Welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel, everyone. This is Rich making another video on XRP today as usual. We're going to talk about XRP today, so I hope everyone is having a fantastic day wherever they are in the world. And I must begin with this gold-backed XRP. This goes beyond mere conjecture. The final game is this. Although this is merely an XRP fan page, it appears that Ripple posted this. Additionally, I've discussed XRP's gold backing on several occasions. You don't even want gold backing it, I said. When it's shifting currencies globally, you want it to shift the value of gold. It will involve transferring something far more valuable than gold, which encounter the XRP ledger. Furthermore, not even enough gold is available to support XRP with gold. I have talked about that in a prior video. Grok even claimed that there isn't enough gold in the world to support XRP. However, XRP will eventually reach astronomical prices. Regardless, due to the fact that tokenized gold will also be moved, 5 Standard Charter's 525% XRP price projection is supported by Ripple Metas. According to Standard Charter, XRP will be about $28 by 2030. It will arrive well in advance of 2030. This is what they're citing, though. They claim that XRP is the most tariff-resistant cryptocurrency. Stocks and cryptocurrencies were extremely vulnerable to Trump's tariffs during his first term, and this year has been no exception. Accordingly, a recent USA Today report is extremely optimistic about XRP. The newspaper's investigative division stated on April 4 that XRP, one of the top 3 cryptocurrencies, had resisted the effects of tariffs the most. In fact, since February 1st, it has increased somewhat. However, they claim that it didn't fall as much as some other cryptocurrencies did. Then there are the warning signs that are displayed on the charts. Look excellent for XRP as well. An increase in XRP network utilization of 60%. We have already discussed that in a number of videos. There's always a lot of XRP in circulation. Ripple purchases, Ripple buys out TradFi and DeFi brokerage for $1.25 billion. We are aware of the purchase. After that, they discuss how Bitcoin helps XRP's price rise. Put another way, XRP goes up with Bitcoin when it does. However, we were all aware that things might occur. I'm waiting for XRP to completely separate from Bitcoin because I believe that's when it will be the most unexpected. After that, it runs independently into price discovery and beyond. However, we are still using Bitcoin at the moment, and the issue is that it dislikes tariffs. Therefore, as soon as tariffs are discussed, the price of Bitcoin drops, taking XRP with it. Now, it appears that XRP would fare much better if we were separated from Bitcoin. Despite tariffs, Basel III is approaching. Banks' liquidity situation is dire. You are aware of who is an XRP. What Basel III will bring about is as follows. Given that Basel III is a collection of global banking standards created by the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision, I believe this will demonstrate the necessity of XRP. Its goal is to strengthen and secure banks, particularly following the financial crisis of 2008. Main objectives of Basel II. To withstand shocks, banks need to keep more high-quality capital, such as cash or government bonds. As a result, the bank currently lends out money 2 to 3 times for every deposit you make. That won't be possible under Basel. I sense banks must constantly have liquidity on hand. Increased liquidity. To satisfy short-term obligations like customer withdrawals, banks need to have a sufficient amount of liquid assets. Cut back on dangerous behaviors. Higher risk weights are assigned to riskier assets, such as volatile securities, which raises their holding costs. For this reason, the banks will embrace XRP wholeheartedly. I believe that the FDIC's recent decision to allow banks to engage in digital assets and cryptocurrency was motivated by the imminence of Basel III. They are aware that XRP can solve liquidity crises To put it another way, it can resolve the issue before it arises. This is a result of everything crypto. Although he isn't being discussed, he could be Ripple's most significant power move to date. A quiet player with close connections to the Federal Reserve, Goldman Sachs, and the White House. His purpose is to integrate Ripple from the inside out. Unlike most crypto executives, Michael Warren has significant ties to Wall Street, international banking, and Washington, D.C. He is a board member of Ripple. It's not simply crypto connections that this individual is making. From the White House to Ripple, he is constructing institutional pipelines. Warren shaped the Federal Reserve and Treasury nominations during his tenure as a senior counselor in the Obama White House. He actually had a say in who oversaw American economic policy. He is currently guiding Ripple through the same halls of authority. Creator of the American financial system, the Obama-Biden presidential transition was co-led by Warren. His group examined and made recommendations about the management of the Federal Reserve and the Treasury Department. This relationship isn't loose. He was involved in creating the organizations that currently oversee cryptocurrency. Crypto silenced the government's sneer. For 9 years, he served on the board of OPIC, the American organization that conducts investigations into international markets. This entails close ties with global financial and governmental decision makers. He has connections to banks and other organizations, and for Ripple, that is a strategic gold mine. This man, who works inside Ripple, is a true powerhouse. However, there are a lot of game-changing individuals on the board of Ripple. The former treasurer of the United States was Rosie Rios, after all. It was her who informed us that the train had already departed the station. However, you realize that Ripple was created to have XRP move the global currency when you fill your board with influential people like this. The source of this is Zaman Wallet. In case you missed it, Zamen's newest X app was released on Friday. In one location, trade, purchase, mint, and investigate XRP ledger Fs. Self-custodial in full. No hassles, no websites. Simply open Zaman. It appears that NFs are once again becoming a topic of conversation. Zaman isn't passing up the chance, and I believe they're beginning to get some traction. However, Zaman Wallet is also an excellent wallet. The source of this is Blue Hawk Legend. Yes, idiot, that's what we're all waiting for. The impact of Bitcoin is concerning, according to the Attorney General of New York. Congress must take action. Therefore, they are discussing the necessity of stricter crypto regulations. They're concerned about Bitcoin's potential to act as a dollar hedge. However, there's also a great deal of illegal activities, and they're demanding just that. Platforms that adhere to anti-money laundering regulations, they want to know what people are using Bitcoin for and who is working behind the scenes. I suppose what I'm looking for is greater regulation, which is what they want. They also want steps to protect investors and stablecoins. They continue by discussing the need to keep cryptocurrency out of retirement plans. Since currency is used for many more illegal activities, I agree with some of this, but not all of it. However, I do think that retirement assets should be kept well away from Bitcoin. Bitcoin would be lost if Tether were to collapse at this time.